Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 5, Episode 6, Fun and Games. So this episode is officially the first episode after a big recap for Fitz and his time-traveling adventure to get to the rest of the team. And it's also the mid-season premiere, and I think it was a really good episode. I really liked the tension that kind of played out throughout this one where, we have to see, how is this going to work? How are we going to get all of our characters not only back together, but back together safely? And who's going to live, who's going to die, how are they going to survive when you have Fitz trying to basically buy Daisy and Jemma to save their lives, and then outside of that, they don't even know where everyone else is. No one knew where May was until she pops up in this episode, which I thought was a pretty cool way to do that. And then, of course, we have the rest of the team with Yo-Yo, Mac, and Coulson, where they're trying to help Tessa basically protect this kid, and they have a disaster of an episode as well because we find out Tessa gets killed, which really sucks. This is a crazy thing, but that actress, like, she always dies in shows. Like, either she dies in the show or the show ends up getting canceled. Like, I've seen her in 3 different shows over like the past, I want to say 4 years. She's been in 3 different shows that have either she died in the show, she died in 2 of them, and then the other one got canceled. And it was just like, man, that sucks. I like her as an actress. I think she's good, and it's just like every time she's in a show, she just ends up dying in the end or it gets canceled. It sucks, but she ends up being killed off because, of course, the Kree realized that she was definitely hiding this kid Flint. And so, we don't see when it happens, but, Mac and Coulson end up seeing her body and she's just hanging there dead. And I was like, well, that really sucks. They're just like, they're just killing people off this episode. I mean, they're the lesser characters, but it's like, okay, I expect some of these characters maybe to even join them, as a part of the team. And it's like, oh, well, Tessa got killed off. I can't even remember the other guy's name, but the mind reader, he gets killed off because, of course, when they find out about May, it's like, oh, well, he definitely lied. So they end up killing him off instead of selling him. And it was like, well, that sucks for his character, but, May gets sent down to Earth. So we'll get to see that in the next episode, which I think should be fairly exciting. But, this whole way through, I was just like, all right, I'm excited to see the tension, how this is playing out. Fitz was awesome in this episode. If I'm being totally honest, I thought he was really cool in this, where he has to play like this, marauder character who's just like vicious and everything. So I like that. Him playing that role, I thought was definitely cool. Great scene in the beginning when he first runs into Jemma and she, of course, she can't hear him, and he proposes, and then they make the joke about it at the end when she proposes to him. So I love that. But all in all, it was a great episode. The action was pretty good too. We did get to see May, fight against the mind reading guy, and she actually held her own, which was pretty cool. She was about to die, but she held her own for a minute, so that was definitely awesome. And then, of course, we see Daisy go up against once again, terrible with names, even though they said her name a million times this episode too, but the woman who only spoke this episode, Cassie's his second in command, so she actually has to, go into the fight, which she fortunately survives, and I'm very curious how that's going to play out for their relationship, because the whole thing is that they were just like, they're like hand in hand with each other, and it was always hard to tell. It's like, he cares so much about her, I couldn't tell if it was like a relationship or if it was just, she was like the one person that never, like made fun of him and stuff, because he always gets put down. So it was just one of those things where it's like, I can't really tell how close they are. And then it all fell apart, in this episode when, the brother comes along and is like, oh, well, the destroyer of worlds can't just fight some random inhuman. She has to fight a Kree warrior. And of course, because he's a douche, his brother's totally a douchebag. He's just like, well, why don't we have your second in command go? And it's just like, that's such a douchey thing to do, but he knows that he can push Cassius's buttons, because it's like, well, I mean, if she's not that great and you don't want father's approval, so of course he kind of, toyed with him and like pushed him into putting her in the ring. So their relationship is going to be pretty odd going forward. So curious how the dynamics about to shift, and of course, once the fight kind of goes crazy and it's like, oh, well, they have the shield up and everything, it's like, all right, I think it's time to go nuts. And so they try to break free, and unfortunately, Daisy's like up in midair, and his brother just hits the button, and she just falls. And I was like, I'm pretty sure she should be all sorts of messed up. I mean, she wasn't super high up, so she wouldn't like break her legs, but I was like, she was pretty high up, and she fell and hit her head. I thought she was going to be completely unconscious and stuff, and I was like, oh, well, this is bad for them. But ultimately, they make their escape, or they start to make their escape, and even in the promo, we see that it's going to be a bit of a tough sell for them, ultimately making that escape. But they're trying to get out of there. May has already been sent down to Earth, which I assume is where that's why Enoch was going there, which we find out he's officially a Kree, because I was curious about that. So he knocks the one dude down, and he ends up going to Earth. So that's probably how they're going to team up, and then we see the other people that are already on Earth, so that should be cool. But basically two escape plans in next week's episode. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. But overall, it was a pretty decent episode. It was one of those episodes where it was like not a lot happened, but at the same time, a lot of stuff happened in like a really tight space. So it was just like the whole episode was like the tension of what's gonna happen and how it fits. Daisy and Jemma gonna figure out this plan, and then the other half was, the rest of the crew basically helping this kid Flint realize his power, and Yo-Yo telling them a story about her abilities and stuff, which led to them being busted by their boss, and then the kid ends up killing him because he has telekinesis. So I thought that was pretty cool. Or he can only maybe it's just the fact that he can control rocks. I thought it was telekinesis, but I think it's just he can control rocks. So I guess technically it'll be like Terranesis. So him controlling or learning his powers and stuff. So now they have to make their grand escape. So I'm looking forward to that in the next episode. But like I said, all in all, this was really good. We had some cool action sequences. In general, I thought the tension was great for the storyline revolving around Cassius and Fitz having to play this part where he's this super rich, crazy marauder and everything. So definitely love what we got from that. The other side of the storyline was good too, and I think that'll be even more entertaining in the next episode where the team with Coulson, Mac, and Yo-Yo, where they're helping Flint. And I don't know if they're gonna go to Earth, or I really don't know at all how that's gonna end up playing out. But in general, I'm super curious. So I'm looking forward to next week's episode. But of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this one. So please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, your least favorite parts about it. I would love to know your theories on where we are headed with both teams trying to make grand escapes at this point, and what you guys think we might end up seeing on Earth, because I'm definitely looking forward to that. I don't know how much we're going to focus on May on Earth, but considering that seemed like how they were ending the episode with Enoch going down to Earth to help her out, I think that'll be a big storyline. So it might be, kind of three storylines in one. So I'm looking forward to that. Something that I should mention for anyone who did not check out my video that I made a couple weeks back, like last month or something. I won't be doing reviews like I normally do anymore. So this will actually be my last review for the show until the official season finale. So unless something like super insane happens, I won't be doing any reviews for a little bit until the show officially ends this season out, and then I'll just kind of do like a grand recap of what I liked and didn't like, kind of flowing through basically this point going forward. So I want to let you guys know that if you were not aware ahead of time, you didn't see the old video I made about not focusing on reviews so much. But I would definitely see you guys at the end of the season, unless something like absolutely insane, if there's some insanely epic reveal. If somebody else comes through time, or we find out really what happened to Earth and it's just like, holy crap, I can't believe it was this, maybe I'll do a video. Probably won't be like a full-on review, but I'll probably do at least just a video kind of nerding out over like this one specific moment. But for now, this will be my final review until the actual season finale. But I'm looking forward to the rest of this season. Of course, like I said, want to know where you guys think we're headed as far as what's going to happen on Earth, the escape plans. Considering I won't be back until the season finale unless there's some epic moment, I would love to know in general where you guys think we're headed for the rest of this season, how you guys are liking the season so far as well, because this is definitely a huge departure. Like every season changes up and it's like, oh, new members, new villains and stuff. This is like, hey, time travel, totally different. Earth is destroyed. They're not, it's not just like, oh, they went to the future. Earth is gone for the most part, at least, and they're in space. So it's like huge departure. So I would love to know how you guys have felt about this change in the series, and how you guys think it's going to go going, I guess, into the season finale and just going forward in general with really the rest of the series, because I am curious how this will impact them going forward, because I have to assume eventually they will find a way to go back in time. But we'll love to know how you guys are feeling about the season so far. Like I said, of course, want to know your immediate theories on how things are going to play out going into the next episode, and in general, would love to know what you guys thought about this episode. So please comment below, let me know, and thanks for watching.